Hello everyone, it's Mish here, and today I'm going to be starting a series of Daphne's Diary for a new playlist based around building a journal. So I don't know where I've been for the last, I don't know how many years, because sometimes I think I'm living under a rock. This magazine has been on the go since 2016, and it is a crafter's dream. I do live in Nova Scotia, so we don't have like a lot of newsstands and things. So I never really saw this before until I saw it on a video online. I can't even remember whose video it was. There are other people who are doing sort of the same thing that I'm going to start to do. So I went out to try to find it. I couldn't find it, so I ordered a subscription directly from the company, and there is details in here of how you can order it if you want a subscription. But then ironically, just after I started my subscription, I saw it at my local Michael's. So I did buy number 3, and I have subsequently received number 4 in the mail. So I'm just going to do a quick flip through. It is a gorgeous magazine. The front cover there's a lot of texture to it. It's quite thick. And I am going to be using this one for the cover of the journal that we're going to make today. But just a quick flip through, see if I can get it all in frame here. Gorgeous colors. A lot of it is my color palette. Very interesting articles based on crafts or exploring. Just interesting things, background paper, scrapbook papers. I absolutely love this. I've spent a lot of time in Iceland, and this just, tore at my heartstrings that I'd like to get back. But this is just some isolated places of where you could live. I'm not going to go through every page, but an activity with hammer beads. So here in Canada, they're called perler beads, the same as I think in the US, but also hammer beads. I've seen them around, but I kind of thought they were, more for kids. But then I saw this gorgeous necklace and the color, so I ran right out and got some beads, and I will be showing in subsequent videos kind of what I've done with the beads. Gorgeous washi strip there. Other activities, I do a lot of collage. I'm also doing the Marguerite Miller challenge. So some of these images would be fantastic to put in a collage. She does a lot of handwriting. Lovely stamp there. I can definitely cut that out, fussy cut it. This here is making an envelope, so I probably will be doing that to put in the journal. Lovely background paper there, and a poem. She also includes each month a separate sticker page, so that's stickers and other activities. So in this one here, the activity were also, sorry I'm jumping around, but some gorgeous prints. It is to make garlands, but you can use it for anything. There was included some butterflies that you can cut out and make a mobile, the hanging thing. I'm not exactly sure where that one is. And then just lastly with this magazine, this one here is a stencil. There's also recipe pages, a stencil that you can cut out to stencil on fabric. But I thought it would also be great to cut it out and just use the bird image on a collage. So that's one thing. What I was going to show you too. In each magazine, there is a poster. So this month's poster was a great big teacup, and it just says Le Papillon Blues, the butterfly blues. So this here would be great to cut out, to use for background, to fussy cut images. So I think it's just great that they do add a larger piece of paper there, something that you want to color. The gorgeous image. I'll be using that probably for my back cover, I think, of the journal. And then, so that was issue 3, 2023. And then for issue 4, which I just received in the mail, again, gorgeous cover. Look at that lush tree there Definitely going to use that as an image. I love sneakers and shoes and hiking boots and rubber boots. So I'll definitely be using that image. More images you could fussy cut just as an embellishment for your page. And then there's washi tape here. So this is a cut and use. Well, I'll use it as washi tape. It's actually to make these birds, but I'll probably cut that out and then cut the head off and then use that as a background strip. So there's a couple pages of those. There's always some food articles there. And this is flowers and clay. So you put your clay down, stamp your flowers in, let it dry, and then paint over it. But that would be a great addition to the journal. Love the gardening utensils. As a matter of fact, this week's prompts in the Marguerite Challenge is something found in a garage. So if you didn't have a shed, you could definitely say that this would be something in a garage. Some other articles. So the stickers this week are washi tape as well. Love, love, love those. So you could use them separately. You could also just cut that out and put them down in strips to make a panel as a background. Here they've used it as a card to make a little birthday cake. Some more interesting articles. Some gardening pages. Love, love, love that. Love that image. I mean, how gorgeous is that? This is ordering information if you do want to subscribe for US and Canada, and then for UK and the rest of the world. Some labels. So this is great. You can add those as ephemera, stamp on them, put stickers on them, use them as little tuck spots. So those will definitely come in handy. I also love all the little tags that she puts throughout the magazine. And in saying that, I probably can't find one now. All the little things that you could cut out for embellishments. A little thing of, looks like oil, some cheese, a little chicken, a bouquet of flowers there. All those things you can fussy cut and put into your journal. Some things to do with your lemon peel. And then she always has some really interesting articles on different crafts or arts. I'm trying to get the glare off the page that people do. So again, if you're looking for dolls or something around play and toys for a collage, you could use that. The recipes again, and I like that there's this beautiful border that you can cut and use as sort of a washi strip. This one here is making bees for a package, so making 3D bees. You cut out the bees and layer them, and I definitely will be using them. I'm not sure if I'll do the activity, but and they're printed on gorgeous paper too. So if you didn't like this design, once you punch it out, you're going to have this design on the back, and that's just lovely. In here, see, like a lot of tags that you can cut out, maybe put something else on top of it, or use the tag just as it is. So love that. Again, loving the illustrations throughout the magazine. That is one thing that I have heard, that Daphne's diary doesn't allow you to use the magazine to make a journal to then sell, but you can definitely use it for your own personal enjoyment, or to gift it to family, the journal to a family or a friend. So I'm happy with that. This magazine just makes me so happy. Another envelope, which I'll probably cut out and use in the journal. A drawing exercise, and then towards the back of this one here, there's also some lovely printed paper. How lovely is that? The colors, I don't even know if it shows up well on camera, but just draw your eye. They're just they just work so well together. I love this one. It kind of reminds me like of a Victorian print. And so, if you're doing a Victorian album, that would probably work really well. Then this one here, it's kind of, you look at it kind of sideways. But so these ideally what the activity for these is to cut them out to put around your pots. But I'll definitely be using those as background papers. And then again, like a gorgeous back cover, and that it's almost like a waxy feel, but it's not like sticky or unpleasant. It's just really nice to touch. And then in this one here, the poster was a flamenco dancer, and if obviously you didn't want to use this on your wall or what have you, then it's still nice to use as a large paper if you wanted a flip out, and or to fussy cut the lemons. I'm just in love with lemons, and all the little floral accents. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm very pleased. So for the journal that we're going to make today, I'll show you the step by step, and hopefully not bore you too much. But for the journal itself, I'm going to try to stick pretty much to just Daphne's diary. I have pulled some other paper from my paper pads that I thought might work as a background if I needed it, just kind of plain, but more the colors of my palette and kind of to go the tone of Daphne's diary. I have ordered a paper box from them, so I'm anxiously awaiting that to arrive, and once that arrives, of course, I'll be using a lot of those papers, and I will do an unboxing for those. So for now, I'm going to set that aside, and the journal that I'm going to make is I'm using an old Cheerio Kellogg's Cheerios box. It was quite a large box. I have already put some tape on the back. This is score tape, and I believe it's 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's 3/4 of an inch. I just do that on this side because I definitely want the pages, the cover pages, to stick down. And this is, for me, my opinion, one of the best tapes you can use sort of for bookmaking. I will leave links in the description of the things that I do use. So for this one here, the spine is 3 inches. Here, sorry, out of frame, is 3 inches, and I've cut it down so that I have a 5.5 by 8 3/4 page on each side, and then you have your 3-inch spine. So I did that because in Canada, our letter size paper is 8.5 by 11. So if I did it just slightly bigger than a folded page, then I know if I grab a sheet of paper that I just have to fold it and it's going to fit with just a wee little bit of overhang. So if you're in the UK or another country where you have a different size, just standard paper, then you may want to make your dimensions a little bit different than what I'm making mine today. So for my signatures, I am just using this craft pad I've had for quite a while, and I just want to, use it. So it's very thin paper. I don't even know. Oh, it says contains heavyweight 60 pound. Well, I don't really think that's 60 pound, but it feels more like maybe 40 pounds. But this is what I'm going to use. So, and it was only a couple dollars at the dollar store. So I am going to first put this on the front cover. So that's what's going to cover this, and then I will go over it with my images. And so each of these I've just cut to 8 by 11, and that just gives me about an inch on each side that I can fold up. I've also gone ahead and marked, you can see a little mark there, I've marked the center of this 3-inch spine. So, I mean, I didn't need to use this, 3 inches. It's pretty easy to divide up. It's 1.5 inches on each side. But this is a great ruler from Tim Holtz. I use it a lot, and it has a center point so that you can always find the center of a page that's up to 12 inches. This is a foot long. But for this instance, half of 3 is 1.5, so you can take your ruler and just mark your midpoint. This is another ruler that now that I found it, I could not live without it. It has the inches and centimeters, but it's broken down into very small increments, and they're all labeled. So you know if you want 5/8 or 15th of a 16th, you know, it's all there. So love those rulers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to line this up on my grid line here, so that when I put this paper down, I'm going to actually take a little piece of, this is just old tape I got sitting around, just so that that's not going to move much. And then I will just undo this. Sometimes it's hard to get the backing off. I do have a little pokey tool here somewhere, but of course I can't find it. So just work at getting that off. Gosh, it's getting on to be the end of June already. I can hear the birds kind of singing outside. It's a little bit overcast today here in Halifax. Okay, so I do want to just put a little bit of adhesive in the middle, and I'm just going to use my all-purpose glue stick from Elmer's. It seems like I use a lot of Elmer's products, and I'm not getting, there's no kickbacks there. So that's a nice dry medium to put on such a thin paper. If I was to use a more liquid glue, it would probably bubble or warp. So I definitely don't want to do that. So I'm just going to lift this up halfway, because I don't want it to stick to my table. So let's just peel this back a little bit, see how this works. You can hear my cat Chester in the background crying. As soon as I get on a video, I think he hears me talking, and he wants to contribute to the conversation. Right, so I've got that lined up. So I'm basically just going to eyeball that there's around the top and the bottom that we've got a good border. It doesn't have to be exactly 1.5, but it doesn't matter if you get it on crooked, because we're going to eventually cover it all up. Okay, so that's my first page. And if you had a little bone folder, then you could just, you know, run that across there. Okay, and then I'm just going to peel off the rest of this. And we've been getting quite a bit of rain here, which is good. We had a lot of forest fires causing a lot of heartache and devastation, but thankfully those are now out. And but the rain is good. We've been getting a lot though, so my garden is a bit waterlogged, and I'm not really able to get into the garden right now. Right, so again, I just want to line that up. Put a little piece of tape there just to hold that in place for a second, and I've lined it up on my line there. It's easier once you get the first page done, because you basically just want to butt that up to that one. Line it up. And we are going to cover the spine, so okay, and then we'll just lay it down and turn it over and just bone fold that. Alright, so that's looking good. Right, so I usually just take my bone folder and just go and try to crease that a little bit. With such a thin paper, it's easier to make your folds up. Sometimes I use a heavier paper for the cover. But for this, I thought this craft paper would be fine. Alright, so I'll probably fast forward this next bit, because all I'm going to do, which I should have done prior, is I'm going to take my score tape and I'm just going to make a border around there so I can flip that down. Okay, so I've got all the tape down and I've pulled the backing off it, just around the edge there. And I've also snipped my corners because it just takes away some of the bulk at the corners. And I'm basically just laying down my long edges, just like that. And then for the corners, I take my bone folder and I'm just gonna make a little crease there at the edges, just so that it folds a little bit better. So I'm going to do that on all 4 corners, like so, and then it folds up quite nicely. Now that's a little, I could have cut a little bit more off, but sometimes I cut too much of the corner and then the cardboard shows through, and I just didn't want that to happen. Okay, so we've got that down. I'm just going to take my bone folder, press it down a bit, make sure it's good and secure, especially at the here at the edges of the spine. Okay, and then I'm just going to slowly close it and press that in. So with this one here, the fold is more of a thick raised fold, where typically you'd want a little valley fold, where this is more like a mountain. You can see there's a ridge there. So I just want to make sure that I press that out a bit, so when that closes, we're not going to have that bulging up there. And if you need to put more adhesive, then you just sometimes need to work it, and don't force it, because if you force it, you're going to cause wrinkling or warping of the paper. You just got to gently try to work it up, and you will be successful. So I pretty much got that side working. Okay. And I'm going to put a closure on it too, so if it's a little bit stiff and wants to lay backwards, that's fine, because eventually I'm going to make a little chain clasp to keep it together, but that will come later. I do plan on having a number of videos, so if you do like this one, please come back and give me a thumbs up if you like it, and don't forget to subscribe. It's all good. Okay, so I've worked that up a bit, so I think that's pretty good. It looks good. Got a little bubble there, but we'll just push that out. And all right, that's that. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to straighten up my desk, because it looks like I've made a mess here. I have some paper that I'm just going to lie down, so I want it to thicken just a little bit, support the spine a bit. This is 100-pound paper, so it is a card, so it is, you know, relatively firm. It's not completely solid, but I thought I would put those down as an inner panel. I kind of like having the little brown border, so I'm happy with that. And I wanted to leave a little space between the pieces so that the spine would fold okay, the pages would fold okay. And I am going to go over top of these with some patterned paper. So for this one, because it is a little bit harder stock, I can use some glue. So I'm going to use today the neutral pH adhesive. It is good for to make books. So I'm going to use a little bit of this kind of, and I got a glue book behind me. It's just an old book. And then I want to take one of my spatulas and just spread that out some, so that I don't have any big globs of glue that will make the page bubble or warp. So this does dry relatively quickly. So I'm just going to line it up around the edges and look where my spine is, just to move that over a little bit. And I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to tack that down. Okay, sorry I was off camera, but I didn't want to stick that in my, move that over, stick it in my glue. Okay, so for my spine, again, I'm going to, some space here. I am going to get some glue down on that. Get that out of the way. Get my glue down. And then I'm going to take my spatula and just smooth that out a bit, especially around the edges. A little bit more on the edges. So you want your edges really tacked down so they don't start to lift up. Okay, and then I'm going to line that up inside the spine and try to get it even. Well, actually, it's going to be a bit taller because that's the way it is. All right, that's good. All right, so for my last page, I'm going to do the same thing. For my subsequent pages, I'll probably just use just the glue stick or Elmer's glue, but I just wanted these end pages to be relatively secure. All right. A lot of glue on this time, didn't I? There's there's so many people that use so many different glues, and it's hard to say this one's the best or this one's not. So I just kind of say what works for me. And so I'm going to turn this around, try to get that glare off. That's why I got that piece of vellum there. I love vellum. I don't know. There's just something about the frostiness of it, and I want to get that straight on the edge there, and I want to make sure that the top and bottom have relatively the same amount. So that looks good. So there's our background paper. Okay, so just going to smooth that out. Go back over that. And go back over that. Okay, so there's our journal, glue book, I guess. That's what we, the new, not the new, but because this is going to be more of a glue book, I guess, where I'm not going to do a lot of my own journaling, but I want to use it as motivation and things that I'm going to enjoy to look at. So we've got that done. So the next thing I want to do is just get rid of some of this so that I don't have things stuck all over the place. And this is, I'm recycling this magazine, so it's a good use to use it as a glue book. Meaning, not the glue book as in your journal book, but a glue book as in something you can glue onto and then discard it. Okay, so I have gone ahead and made some signatures. So I made the signatures out of just that craft paper and just some other plain paper. This is an envelope that I had. This one here is just something I got in the mail. So I'm not going to do it as a typical junk journal type thing, but I do want to add some interesting interactive bits. So I do have those ready. They are 5.5 by 8.5 because they are a little bit longer as I had. Actually, I might be cutting those down a bit to 8.25. Those ones there are 8.25. I'm not quite sure. Oh, because this paper pad is a little bit bigger. So I may cut it down and I may leave it. But yeah, so the next thing I want to do is get my cover. Now I've gone through both of these magazines obsessively. You know, I've looked at these magazines more, I think, than any other magazine I've had in my life. So the other thing that I do is I make templates. So I do a lot of card making. So I've got templates in kind of different, vellum in different sizes. And they allow me to kind of place things down so that I can see through them. If I'm going through the book, this is, got glue on it, but it's half of a letter size paper. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, which is again half of the letter size. I've just cut it in half. And then this is half of this. So as I'm going through, and I know that in my signature, I have maybe a folded bit that's half, I can kind of go through and think, well, will that fit? Will that fit? So that's what I've done with this. Initially, I kind of thought I would just cut off the top of the journal or the front page and fold it in half. But I didn't really like that the back bit would sort of be sideways. And so I thought, well, what if I just cut out the Daphne's diary part for my front page and have that. Then I kind of turned it sideways. And in the end, I decided that this is what I want. I just want diary and then to cut out this bit here. So that is my front cover. I also did it on this one, but I really didn't like the image as much as I liked this one. And besides, on the inside of this cover is that gorgeous tree in the watering can, which I definitely want to use out of this book. So I've decided to go ahead with this one. So that means I need to move this stuff out of the way for now. And I need to get this one off. I've got a paper here because I have a glass mat on this side too, and it was in the glare. I need to find a mat that will cover my whole desk and avoid the glare. Right, so I'm going to go away. I'm going to get the cover off, get things ready, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've had a little look through the magazines, and I've done a little bit of work. I did run out to Michael's, and I saw this wood grained just poster board, and I thought this would be ideal for a recording surface when I'm doing my video. So anyways, I picked that up. And so where I've got to, I'd put a little bit of washi tape. Not exactly sure why, but I kind of liked it. And I thought what I'm going to do with the inside is I've just found just some plain scrapbook paper, and I'm just going to put that down on the inside for now. So I'll get to that in just a second. But we'll work on the outside. So with the outside, I just cut a piece of just scrapbook paper, and I think it's about 4 1/4 by 8 3/4. And I just left a little bit of an overhang onto the front and the back. I gently worked the paper so that it wouldn't crack, so that it would bend okay. And it still flares a bit, but with use, that's going to get better. So I'm not worried about that. The images that I decided, and I'm telling you, it was hard. For the front cover, I think I'll go with this, and that came just from the front page there, so we'll stick that on there. And then for the back page, it came off the back here, which is it's just no longer there. Yeah, so I really wanted this image on the back, that one there, but I just didn't really think that it went. The reason is that this is more durable than this. So if I got a little bit of water on it or something, I think I could wipe that off and it would be okay. Whereas on this side, it wouldn't be. I'm just so sad to have to put that to the inside, but that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to use a little bit of runner tape to just runner to put the cover down. I could have done all sorts and left pockets on the side and all this, but I didn't really want to. So I'm just going to use the glue stick to go in the middle. This Elmer's runner tape is pretty good. It has a pretty good hold. So I'm just going to lay this down. Sorry if my head gets in the way. It is so hot here today. All right. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this vine yet, but we can get work on that next time. This book will be a work in progress, so I'm not feeling that, you know, I need to rush right, you know, every day to try to get it filled up. So it's June now. I'm thinking that this book will last me like the rest of the year. There'll be a new edition. I'll probably get it in August. It's July something. I think that it's released out. So I'll probably get that in August, and then there'll probably be one in like maybe October and December. So I'll use those magazines to finish up this one, and then make a new one going into the new year. All right, so not really sure once I had the brown paper down if I liked it. Thinking maybe I would prefer it either pattern paper or white paper or even black, but it's down now. So right, so there's our front cover, there's our spine, and there's the back cover. And you know, there's some of the brown is showing more on the back than the front, just the way that I cut that down. But again, it's not a problem. So then I'm just going to put down the inside. I may just speed this part up because I'm sure that you may get bored of me just putting down the covers. Okay, the washi tape is sealed on both sides with the paper. I have this piece of stretchy elastic, and for now I'm just going to tie it in and slide the signatures through it. I think when you're working, you know, and you have them, you want to pull them in and out, that it's the best way to kind of be able to work on them without, you know, and be able to take them in and out. So, and I'm hoping that I'm going to probably have 3 signatures. So that's why I made this quite thick. So, or even 2, and then you start bulking it up. And I don't want to not have space to put something dimensional if I want the dimensional thing into it. So this is what it kind of looks like now. And again, I'm not worried about that bit. So I thought today we would just work on our first page. I did kind of go through the journals or the diaries, and you know, where there's fluorescent paper, oh, I can't see, sorry, where there's fluorescent little tags at the bottom, that's where I've gotten an image or something. So on this page I cut out, there was a little bee here, and I cut that out to make a little card that's going to go in this little pocket that we're going to make. I cut a little tag from here. Sorry if I'm in the way here. So there was a tag there, so I cut that out so that we could use that. Then, oh, so here was this little sign that just said, "Welcome, relax, listen to the bird song, and enjoy." So I thought we would put that on our tag. And here I just cut out, it was just a piece of just that backing because I thought I might need that. I don't know even where that little piece ended up, but in the end I didn't need it. This here, I actually cut a bunch of it out, but I used a bunch of, there was floral images there that I'm going to use in just a second when we do our collage page. And then I cut out from these butterflies, a couple of the butterflies, and I think that's all that I used from that magazine. And then from the number 4, I used, I cut out a little bird that was there that has now gone flying because I've been flying things around here. I might have to pause and find him because he goes on my, oh, there he is. So I cut out this little bird that was there. He's going to go on the little tag. And then, and these tags here is what I've made this little book from. So I just cut out 2, I folded it in half, and then I put the little floral image there, and that came from one of the little sticker strips that's in there. For the lines, I do have a line stamp, and I just stamped it. And I thought this would be an excellent little journal page if I wanted to write something. And I think that was most of the images. And everything that I got except for some background papers is what I've used for today. Oh, and the back cover of the number 4, journal 4, is what I'm going to use, what I'm going to start with. So I cut this out so that it would fit onto that page. So we're going to lay that down. I just loved that image. Doing stuff like this just makes me so happy. I could just do this all day long and not work. Just make this my job. Okay, so we've got that down. And I think that's actually dot runner, and we'll put a bunch of the glue stick down. Okay, and then we're going to line this up the edge of my paper there. There's Chester. You can hear him. As soon as I get talking, he thinks he needs to talk too. Okay, so then that's our page. So then what was there, I got stickiness, was an image of a girl. And I'm keeping all my offcuts too so that I can use them later on. But, it was this girl. And I thought, well, I might want to use her later for something. So, and so what I decided I would do instead was I would just put a little corner pocket there. And I'll cut that off. It's a little bit below there, but that's fine. So to do that, I'm just going to use some of my Elmer's glue. Don't want to get it on my surface, my poster board. Okay, so I can just put that down on the corner there. Like so. And again, I can trim that. My fingers got stickiness on it. Okay, so I'm just going to get a piece of tissue so that I can push that down. My fingers are sticky and I don't want to stick to the page. Alright, got some alcohol hand gel here. Okay, so then on top of that, I had cut out another little corner piece right here, and this was just from some part of the magazine. I only cut this out. I could have made like a wee little tuck corner, but I just thought I'd stick that in just to break up that corner piece. And then to hide that text there, I thought I would put some little banner strips, and these came from that the bird cut out there. I just cut the strips, and then they already have a fishtail. So, but I want to put this flower, which I cut out, up in the corner, and so I want to make sure that I cover up those words there. So I can put maybe, I wanted that to be about there, and then that could go, yeah, there. So I'm going to lay that down just with some Elmer's glue. And roughly around here, because I wanted the tail to hang down a little bit from underneath the flower cluster. And then I'm just going to glue the edge for now, and then I'll fix this one in, that little fishtail in, and I want that to go right to the top, so it will cover that, and I can just cut that piece off later. And then this little fishtail we can just layer it up like that, which looks fine, and then tack the flower, the edge of the flower down. Now that I know where that little fishtail is going to go. And then just turn it over. We'll cut off that piece and stick it down on the glue book. Okay, so then I picked up another flower, which I thought would look kind of cute there on the, just on that tuck spot. It could go that way. I kind of like it. That looks upside down. I guess every way looks upside down. I think I'll put it just like that, which looks cute. So I'll stick this down. Alrighty, so we'll stick that right in there. And then this is where I was going to tuck this little card, so we can tuck that in there. And then I have a little butterfly that will give him a just glue down the middle portion, so that once he's down good, we can flip up the wings a little bit. And on my Brother P-Touch, I absolutely love this. I printed out the saying that says, find joy in the ordinary. So I thought we could put that down and then make our tag. And then we'll be pretty much done. So I kind of thought I could cut that up. Yeah. So I'm going to cut that a little bit there. And I'm just going to say, find joy in the ordinary. And I don't care if it's a bit crooked, that's what it's all about. And so lastly, I just want to put together this tag. So I showed you where we had cut that out. This is just another one of those fishtails from the end of that bird thing. And I just wanted to hang over a little bit, I wanted to cover those letters and just hang over just a tad. Just like, oops, let's put that up a bit. Over. And that looks pretty straight to me. So then this is just another piece of that, the bird thing, and I just thought we would lay this down and just kind of layer it a bit, like maybe up a little bit and then there. And then here's that welcome, relax, listen to the bird song, and then I'm going to put the little bird on top of it. So let's stick that down. Set up a little bit. And then we'll put his little feet on there. Okay, so then we have just a little collage tag that we can sit in there as well. I'm just going to find my little hole punch, and I'm gonna punch. Just gonna punch this little hole here. It's so thin that I'm not gonna bother to put an eyelet or anything in there, but I thought it just might be cute if we just put a little bit of twine through it. Like so. Right, so we'll just thread that through, and voila. So we've got a little bird tag that's going to peek out of our little pocket, and get rid of some of this stuff. And this is our journal piece for today. So I think that looks really cute. And then we can thread that into our book. And it goes quite well right now with the pinks. So those are going to be so fat, those signatures. I should let that, I think I'm going to just leave it to dry flat for now, just so that it, so those are so fat. But, so yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I'll be doing part 2 soon where we can make some more pages. So I hope things are well with you, and have a great week until we see you again. Bye.